Good morning. Thank you all again for being here and for helping us update the public on this tragedy that we have been going through and living through over the past 48 hours. As you know, we were able to remove one of our victims from the site on yesterday afternoon. I do want to thank our coroner's office for being creating a real welcoming environment for the family to not only grieve but to also be able to identify their loved one in an environment that was absolutely of dignity. Also have to continue to thank our first responders and our unified command for just working so diligently and tirelessly on this rescue effort. This continues to be a rescue mission at this time. As I indicated, once we have removed the individuals from the site, it will then move very swiftly into an investigative investigative mode. But at this time, I am going to turn it over to Chief Tim McConnell, who has been the lead on this effort. Chief?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We currently have crews in the building as we speak. They're in there with some search dogs, both some live dogs and cadaver dogs. They're going through areas of the building where we believe we may have the third person we've been looking for, but we have no results of that search at this time. We also have two different crews of engineers in there who are working to help us stabilize the building, to figure out how exactly we're going to go about doing that. I do not have a report from that this morning, but we should have that shortly. But that's exactly where we are right now, and the goal is still the same. Obviously, we're in rescue mode, look for this person that's missing, get the building stable so we can continue to obviously do the recovery of the one person that we do know is deceased in there. But it is still a very, very dangerous building, a very dangerous situation. That tower is still heavily damaged and unsecured, and we're a long way from being in a safe mode. So we're asking people, and you'll hear it again and again here, stay out of that area, don't come sightseeing. We have an established collapse zone. We're asking everybody stay out of that. That area is evacuated, stay out of that area, and we have a block beyond that because obviously when debris falls from that height, it can travel a great distance. So once again, this is we want people to be safe. We want to make sure that everyone who's not already injured goes home safely through this operation, and we will take every precaution. We have some of the best engineers and demolition people in the country who have been brought in, and they are here on ground with us and helping us. So thank you very much.
No, thank you, Chief. You want to give us an update, Chief Ferguson?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. Again, New Orleans Police Department continues to operate in a support status with the fire department in this unified command. We do continue to have this collapse zone as Canal Street being closed from Baronne to Saratoga and Rampart being closed from Conti to Common. We thank our citizens and thank everyone for taking heed to our words thus far. We do know and realize that today is Columbus Day, as well as some schools have been out on fall break, so we had less traffic than we would usually have. But we do expect the traffic to pick up throughout this week, so we continue to encourage everyone to stay out of this zone. We encourage you to do ride sharing or public transportation if at all possible, but definitely vehicular as well as pedestrian traffic. As Chief McConnell has already stated, please do not come to do any sightseeing. Stay out of this zone. Let the first responders continue to do their job to make sure that this is a stable situation and safe environment for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we want to hear also from our Director, Arnold, with Homeland Security.
I would just reiterate what the Chief said. Good morning, everybody. The public's listening, and we appreciate that. Ready.NOLA.gov, at NOLA Ready. Sign up for alerts. Text your zip code to 888-777. We really appreciate the fact that the public's listening to us about this area and about what we're facing down here. And we're going to get you the information that we can when we verify it as soon as we can to make sure that you are, as the public, are up to date on what's going on down here. And that's our commitment to you, and that's been made very clear by the mayor to me that that's what we need to do, and we'll continue to do that. I liken this a little bit to earlier this summer when we had Hurricane Barry. We had a tremendous support from the public and we want to continue that with this unfortunate incident that's going on over here. And we'll be here until this is over.
Thank you, Colin. We know that we still have 9 adjacent businesses where their utilities have been cut off in terms of course, electricity as well as gas. That will remain intact. We also have 37 families that live in the area that have been put up in hotels, again, in our central area as well. We are continuing to monitor our one individual that is still hospitalized. The health department laid eyes on him last night, and will continue not only to interact with him, but also the families that are tied to this tragedy as well. Councilmember Moreno is with us. The City Council has been very supportive. You know, I say that Councilmember Palmer is our chair of the hospitality of Homeland Security and Families. Been on the ground. I want to thank her for that. But Councilmember Moreno, anything you want to add?
No, I just thank you for your leadership on this.
And thank you for your support. So at this time, we will take questions.
What's the condition of the one who was in the hospital?
He is in stable condition. As I mentioned on yesterday, he did undergo surgery. He was watching the Saints game when EMS, Dr. Nichols and Dr. Vegno visited him on yesterday. As you know, he was an employee and was on site, but we will continue to stay in contact with him, absolutely, and making sure that he has the supportive services, because this was absolutely a traumatic experience.
Question for the chief. I know you've had crews that have been able to get inside the building, sir, but I'm curious, how much of the building is still too unsafe to search?
The entire building right now is in very, very precarious situation. Because it's a life safety issue, it's a rescue, we are putting our folks, in somewhat risk. It's way different than when you start trying to deconstruct this building. As part of it will absolutely have to be done. When you're in rescue, you're trying to get people out, you take a little bit more risk, and obviously to figure out how you're going to stabilize the building, we'll take some engineers who've agreed to go in with us and do evaluation, but it is still a very dangerous building.
Do you feel like you're getting closer to finding this man?
Well, we hope we are, yes. We got some more information that we think we might be closer to where he is located, the one that we haven't been able to locate yet.
Chief, while you're up there, actually, just a quick question about recently there were some protests at this particular site by an electrical union. There were concerns about the workers being employed on site. Is there anything you can tell us about the project's history, inspections, permits that were taken out at this location?
I don't. I mean, it'll all be part of our investigation. We know the job was filed with safety and permits. We had an inspection there as recently as, I believe the last one was September 24th. So, the job was filed and being done. That'll have to all come from safety and permits, and it'll absolutely be part of our investigation.
Chief,
but they didn't find things that shut the job down.
Chief, there's rain in the forecast. How's that going to affect your...
Absolutely. One of the things that our folks were looking at today, anything that would add weight to the building is a concern. So one of the things that we're looking at this morning, there's a pool that's up there, and making sure that doesn't get any water in it, pumping it out, putting a hole in it, whatever it takes to make sure that it doesn't add any weight to the building is a concern.
Right, and also looking at not just rain, but also wind. Yeah.
Wind's a huge factor, particularly with the cranes.
Speaking of that, what is the latest on the stabilization effort with the 2 cranes that are being...
That's what those engineers are up there doing today. So the steps would be stabilize that crane first, be able to take the loading off of it, and then work to be able to dig through some of the rubble.
It looks like it's leaning farther today.
It is not. We absolutely have some of those sophisticated equipment on the crane, and people monitor that, and they are equipped with the radios from us, and we have a procedure for evacuating that building. Immediate evacuation through radio use and through air horns. It's a process that's part of our standard operating procedure. So everyone who enters that building is trained on that. The person who's monitoring that equipment is trained on that. So they can signify right away to get out that crane. It's absolutely, the building and the crane have not moved.
Chief, just to circle back, on that inspection, you mentioned that it'll come out in the investigation, but you also said there was nothing that would have caused you to shut down the project.
I'm not with safety and permits. What I said was safety and permits has that information.
Absolutely. And the last inspection of record was on September the 24th. There was nothing that stopped the construction from moving forward. But after rescue mode, it will go into a full investigative process in which OSHA has been on the ground actually all day yesterday, day before, and today, and they will assume that investigation once rescue mission has ended. Okay, full investigation to come, and we're going to be as cooperative, you know, as necessary to the fullest extent as relates to the city of New Orleans, but understanding accountability is at the heart of it. And that starts with a full investigation, and one with the process that we can stand up to.
All right, one at a time, please. One at a time, please. WWL and then Rosa Flores, CNN.
Chief, you said you're getting closer to, hoping you're getting closer to finding the man. Where exactly in the building do you believe that person is located, the missing person?
No, he's in an area where there was part of the collapse, so on the Rampart Street side. So that's why our crews are looking. We're concentrating right now.
Any ETA on that stabilization?
That were brought in. We've only seen one. Is the other one as redundancy, or will the other one be used?
No, the goal is to use both cranes, but once again, we're leaving that to the engineers. But yeah, the goal is to use both cranes to help stabilize, move equipment, move people, putting people in baskets, because obviously it's risky to put people on the platforms.
Do you have the identity of the body that was recovered?
That'll come from the coroner's office as in any fatality.
Can you say
Telemundo?
Can you say how many Hispanics were affected overall?
I do not know. I don't know the nationality of the individual that were killed.
Mayor, do you know anything right now that would cause you to doubt the quality of that inspection in September?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Do you know anything right now that would cause you to doubt the quality of that inspection in September?
Well, not at this time. Based on the city of New Orleans, it's really looking up to what did we do in terms of the process for inspection. Of course, you have a construction company that is over that particular construction site, and so that will come out of the investigation, particularly that OSHA will move forward with after our rescue efforts. The city of New Orleans has been cooperative, and we will continue to because we want to make sure that the investigation is thorough and that accountability is upheld at every single level.
WDSU.
What is the second crane here, and when is your goal to have both of them attached to the building in a way that you feel makes it more stable? What's the goal there?
Both cranes are on scene. The cranes will be utilized to not to stabilize the crane that's there, but to move equipment into place to get that done.
When do you want to get that done?
As soon as possible,
Today
ma'am.
is possible.
You know,
Today,
yes, ma'am. We're working right now. Our people are here right now. This is not a joke, and it's not funny. We have people that we want to rescue, and so we're telling you what we know. We're giving you all of the information as we know it, and we have experts that are on the scene on this job that we really do have strong confidence in, as they were on the ground in New York after 9/11. And so we're going to adhere to the experts as well. So we're going to, as soon as we know more, we'll give you more. The next update will come around 4:30 this afternoon. And we appreciate you all for not only being here, but for continuing to be engaged as we move forward with the rescue, get our people out of there, and then, of course, the next step, full investigation.
Any idea what the future of the site is? I know it's far off, but demolition, any idea as to what will happen to the site?
Well, of course, demolition, right? After we rescue our individuals, our people, then, of course, that is a part of the next process. But, ma'am, we'll give you an update as we know better this afternoon at 4:30. We thank you so much.
Thank you all for coming.